Okay, are we there? All right. Good afternoon. It is morning, isn't it? Oh yeah, good. Welcome to this lecture for injection giving. We are in the skills lab, as you can see, and we are going to make your learning very interesting. I have some learners with me here, so we are going to demonstrate a procedure called injection giving. So, cameraman, I want you to also be switching your video direct on the trolley so that everybody can be able to see as we'll be doing the procedures. Okay. So obviously a trolley, we all know it's a vehicle that we use when we are in the hospital, isn't it? Yes, and we know that we have the top shelf and we also have the bottom shelf. Okay. And when we have the top shelf and the bottom shelf, we know that when we are doing sterile procedures, most of these things have to be done on the bottom shelf. I'm doing this to help you do procedures in the hospitals, okay?
Yes.
I'm not doing this to help you pass the exam. Of course, as we go on, you begin now to be drilled towards passing an exam. But now we are doing this so that you know what you are supposed to be doing when you go to the wards. Okay?
Yes.
So now, we are going to start with the basics. What is it that we need when we want to prepare a trolley for injection giving? And then how do we administer the drug? Okay? From which point to which point do we go to? Okay? So now, I will firstly introduce the items that I have. I have this is a Cheeto forceps stand. It's a Cheeto forceps stand. This should be sterilized. In short, it should be sterile. It should be covered nicely with sterile drips, and it should be taken for autoclaving. And then we have these are receivers. This is where you obviously dump all your waste materials. For example, after performing injection giving, the cotton cores has to go where? In there. Even the waste, for example, the outer part of the syringe should be dumped on the receiver. Then we have these forceps. Like I said, forceps, you use them to hold your sterile items, because when you are doing the procedure, definitely it's a sterile procedure. You will not hold the items using your dirty hands. Okay. And then we have with us the medication. These are the syringes. Of course, these are the delivery systems for the drug. We have also the needles. These they come in G's. You have 22 G. You also have CCs. You have 5 CCs, and then you have the 10 CCs there. And then our drug of dilution, we are going to use gentamicin, X-Pen. We have to calculate that. We'll also show you how we do that. Then of course, this is a gallipot. You need gallipots when you are doing the procedure. Gallipots are just vessels that you use for putting in solutions. So get us correctly, okay?
Yes.
These items here, these are drips. Drips, you use them for covering your sterile field. For example, if you have receivers, those which you want to use when you are doing a procedure like this one, a simple procedure like this one, you cover your items in a drip. You have 2 drips like this. This procedure can vary in terms of setting with regards to items that you have. For example, if at all the hospital has a hypo tray, I don't have a hypo tray for me here, so I'm just gonna use simple items like receivers to set for undressing. I think which is quite simple for you people to see. Okay, so how do I prepare? Firstly, I would go into the nitty-gritties on how to prepare a pack for injection giving. And this is how I'll prepare my pack for injection giving. I'll request you to get me some drips, some extra drips. So I'll put my pack, my first dressing down, and then I'll get the second dressing. I'll put it on top. These are the drapes. These are drapes. The lower drape should always be larger than the top drape. As you can see, the outside drape is actually extending. The inside drape is slightly inside. Cameraman, are you there? Okay. So now I'm going to get receivers. I have two receivers here. The first receiver is going to be put there, and then I have the second receiver there. So these receivers are the ones that I'm going to use to place in items such as the gallipots and other few things there. Jose, are you observing?
Yes.
Okay, pay attention. Okay, so, okay, you can put that in there. Thank you so much. So, I also have some gallipots. These gallipots, I'm going to put them inside there. And with these gallipots, I'm going to put cotton wool. I'll make some balls for cotton wool nicely. After making some balls for cotton wool nicely, I'll push in there. That's cotton wool, not cotton gauze. Cotton gauze has got its own job as well. So from there, I'm going to need a dissecting forceps. A dissecting forceps will be specifically needed when I am working on ampules. Can you get me a dissecting forceps so that your friends can know what a dissecting forceps looks like? So it looks like a V. It's a forceps, it's a V-shaped forceps. So a dissecting forceps, yes, bring it. So a dissecting forceps, this one is a dissecting forceps. I'll use the dissecting forceps when I'll have a valve. You see, the way a valve is, it has a metal clip on top. So for this metal clip to be removed, I need to push in the dissecting forceps and then turn it like this. Then the metal clip will be removed. Okay? So that's the major use for a dissecting forceps. I'll put it inside there. And then after that is done, the next thing I'm gonna do is to make sure that this pack of mine is closed. And the way I'm going to close this pack will be like this. I'm going to start with what is near to me. I'll do that. And then I'll bring this one back like that. Okay, are you seeing?
Yes.
So I'll start from here where it's near, where it's closer to me. So it's closer to me, I'll do that, and then go to where it's furthest and do that. And then when closing this, I'm going to start from the right like this and come to the left like that. Again, the same way I closed when making this pack, the first pack, I'll start from nearest where I am and then go to the furthest. And then I'll start from the right, coming to the left. So I've made a pack for injection giving. So this pack is simply going to be taken for autoclaving. Are we together?
Yes.
So you've checked what was in the pack, isn't it?
Yes.
And you've seen them, eh?
Yes.
You've said 2 gallipots, cotton wool, and a dissecting forceps, and 2 receiver where you've put those things, isn't it? Okay. It's clear?
Yes.
All right. So I'll place those things there. Now, after all is done, the next thing I'm going to do is to show you how this procedure is set. How do we set for injection giving? Okay, so this is exactly what we are going to do. How do we set for injection giving? And before we set for injection giving, what is it that I'm supposed to do so that everyone knows what they're supposed to doing. So the first thing, we have Cheeto forceps and the Cheeto forceps stand. This also has to be taken for autoclaving. So I'm going to get my double drape, 2 drapes in fact, and then with those 2 drapes, I'm simply gonna cover it with those 2 drapes nicely, like that. Nicely like that. Fold it. After folding it, tie it with bandages and then take it also for autoclaving. Okay, so simply going to take them for autoclaving. So now, how do we set? We have our items that have been taken for autoclaving, and now we want to administer the drug on the patient. The first thing that we are going to do is to make sure that we set the bottom shelf. We are going to set the bottom shelf. Go and pour this solution. You just bring gallipot. Okay? We are going to set nicely. Okay? For me, I will also ask water for injection if you have water for injection, guys. Okay, bring me a drip.
Water for injection.
Bring me a drip. Okay, so here we are. Here we are. Kindly, let's be quick. Let's not waste time. So, I have water for injection. I want water for injection or normal saline. So, this tray here has to be cleaned before it goes under there. So, I'm going to clean it nicely like that. Okay. Then clean the bottom like that. Put normal saline there. Don't open, just put it down there. Okay, so the tray, when setting, I'm going to start from the left of the bottom shelf. Left of the bottom shelf. I'm going to start from the left of the bottom shelf. So, what is it that I'm going to do on the left? I'm now going to get items that I need to put on the left. This is not normal saline, it's fluconazole. Okay, so how do I do it? I'll get a receiver, clean it, put it inside there. Okay, after getting a receiver, put it inside, I'm going to get the syringes that I need. I'm going to get the needles that I need, enough needles. Preferably, I'll put 3 there. Put there and put there. Okay, you need adequate. And then from there, I'm going to get normal saline. Normal saline will be needed as a diluent for the drug. So I'm going to get the normal saline and I'll put it on the receiver inside as well. And then as I put it on the receiver inside as well, I'm going to get the drug, of course, the medication, which is X-Pen, and then you can use as well water for injection like this one, but this one is too small, it cannot dilute the X-Pen, so we needed even 2 of these. If you don't have these, you can use normal saline. You can use normal saline, meaning that you have to pour the normal saline in the gallipot and withdraw from the gallipot and then administer. Or failure to that, you open the normal saline as it is and then drop it on the sterile field, then withdraw from there. Okay, so I'll put the drug inside there in the receiver, and that is exactly how it will look. So this casing is for normal saline. So make sure the normal saline is kept in the inside casing, so that as you open the casing, you just drop the normal saline on the top shelf when you open the pack. Okay. Alright, so the next thing that we are going to look at is the pack I'm going to get the pack as it is. This pack, I'll put it inside the tray, nicely like that. And then after putting the pack inside the tray, I'm going to get a receiver. May I have a receiver, please? Quickly. May I have a receiver? So you can see on the bottom shelf there what is on the tray. Please don't forget. So I need a receiver. There it is. And I need another receiver. Bring another receiver for me. Okay. Good. There goes a receiver. So in this receiver, there are two receivers on the middle there, as you can see. Okay?
Yes.
Are you able to see?
Yes.
There are two receivers. So the work of the receivers, one, to put dirty substances, isn't it?
Yes.
Then the other one is to put jig 1 to 6. So just scoop some jig 1 to 6 for me in the basin for decontamination, so that we can come and pour there. Okay, just get a jar from there and then pour. As we are waiting for that, I'm going to get my Cheeto forceps stand. The Cheeto forceps stand is simply going to be next to you, closer to you there. So that's the item that you'll be using quite faster compared to the others. Okay, so with this scenario, you will have actually completed the setting of a trolley for injection giving. But now, the only item that you need to place there, because you can never put sterile things on top minus making the top surgically clean, you need to decontaminate the top part. What do you use for decontaminating? You need a gallipot and you need to pour some spirit in the gallipot. I'm asking for a gallipot, please, and some spirit. I'm asking for a gallipot and some spirit. So this is jig 1 to 6. I'm simply going to pour it on the receiver there. Okay, just put these things down. I will work on them myself. And then this is spirit. Spirit, you all know what spirit does. Okay.